Hello, welcome to our presentation on the topic Analyzes the use of artificial intelligence as digital tool in architectural design process. We welcome you to join us. The leading persons behind this paper are Professor Dr. Grunwald, Professor of Design and Construction Management at the Department of Architecture at the Jade University of Applied Sciences in Oldenburg, Germany, and my colleague Jan Yoshio Kawasaki and I, Tobias Hanke. We are both research assistants and all three of us working on the same research project. In 2023, as part of the research project, students investigated how artificial intelligence, or AI for short, can be used as tool in the architectural design process. Since our study, the use of AI has become increasingly common in the everyday work of architects, and is now established as a tool in various software solutions. In today's presentation, we use the results to identify where AI can be located and used in the architectural design process. At first, a short description for the presentation structure. So, we start with an introduction of the research project Aufladen and motivation behind the topic. The next step describes the analysis of the design process and assignment of tools as a base to go on with the method. Step 3 shows the method of using AI as tool in design process to answer the question. And the last step shows the results and gives an outlook to this topic. The presentation gives a rough overview of the topic, so the more detailed analysis will be available when the paper is published. In the research project Aufladen, we develop a digital web portal where students have the opportunity to test and expand their knowledge in the context of the digital transformation of the construction industry with a focus on building information modeling, or for short BIM. To research current topics, we developed also space for students to experiment. We call this Aufladen Lab. And one area of the slides we talk today is AI. So the development of this topic came up with the release of the AI model ChatGPT and DALL-E, developed by OpenAI. The release of these two models brings a kind of technical revolution, and the AI became indispensable from one day to the next. It didn't take long for certain AI models to find their daily use in the everyday lives of architects. Due to this development, the question came up how certain AI models can be used and in which areas of the process they are located. To answer this, we start by analyzing the design process. Architectural design is a process that's difficult to force into systemized paths or typologized processes. So, architecture is not created in a vacuum. As a rule, it is created as a reaction to the context in which it becomes a structural reality. It accommodates functions, lends expressions and design to a task, and can be experienced through its construction and material. This rule forms element, and with the description come different keywords to our mind, and these keywords are used to form parameters. And all parameters combined lead to the result of the design process and the realization of a project. With the assignment of tools to these form parameters, the question is where AI is located as design tool in the whole process. And with pick of tools, the students created topics to analyze the verification and usability of AI in the design process. So to explain this method in more detail, here's an overview of two case studies. In first case study, DALL-E 2 was used to investigate if AI can generate structural details. The aim of the case study was to find out whether the use of DALL-E 2 can accelerate and optimize the work's process. Furthermore, the results were evaluated with regard to their suitability. So at first, when it comes to text description entered, the AI model generates images. To do this, the AI breaks down the text into semantic elements and uses generative models to generate images that correspond then to the descriptions. We see that DALL-E 2 is able to create the visualization of a structural detail by the request, but it's not able to create a usable structured detail that fits 100% of the user's requirement. So the result of the investigation showed that AI is able to create an image that reminds the viewer of a structural detail. But by taking a closer look at the generated images and repeating the process, the analysis revealed that DALL-E 2 is unable to create a structural detail for use in the design process of architecture. So the results are not usable. In another case study, ChatGPT was used to investigate whether it would be possible to create a room program for a workshop building. So for beginning, the student asked ChatGPT to create a room program for a workshop building with specific parameters. The AI has defined areas that should be output in more detail with a further request. So the results were cross-checked by the student in a CAD software. The result is that the AI is able to design a room program, so it works. And with show of these examples and this method, we come up to the last step, the verification and the conclusion. The design element is located in the early phase of the design process, where creative ideas are developed to define the general character and direction of a project. At the same time, the functional requirements of a project are identified and analyzed during this phase. This includes also text and context. Architects conduct utilization studies, space programming, and functional analysis to understand the specific needs and requirements. And the role of constructions and materials is already taken into account in the early design phase, but it's only consolidated in the later phase of design process through the elaboration of construction and material related details, and is located in the area of realization. So if we put this information into a matrix, the matrix shows in relation to the results that AI is more usable as tool in the early phase of the design process. And as the ideas are consolidated, the need of AI as tool decreases more and more. Furthermore, it can be seen that text-to-text models such as ChatGPT can be used in the elements text, context, and function, while text-to-image AI models are preferred in the design element. A more detailed explanation can be read in the paper to this topic. So as an outlook, it's proved through the results that the use of AI in design process for concept development is acceptable. Building on this, it's interesting to use AI in technological areas where digital skills are missing. For example, in the field of augmented reality to produce complex structures with softwares like Rhino and Grasshopper. We hope that the presentation has provided sufficient insight into the topic, and thank you for your attention. Thank you.